Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And today's show is brought to you by the Pilsner House and Beer Garden. Please visit our friends at 1422 Grand Street. Have a beer, have a pretzel, have maybe a pierogi, and have a great time. Speaking of a person having great times all the time, it is our Places Insider, and that is Mrs. Daria Peace of At Hoboken Eats. Daria, good to see you again.
This is my fourth time hearing you say that, and I'm still weirded out by being called a missus.
Exactly. Does it make you kind of feel old?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're married now, so.
I guess I am old, but you're older.
Way older, folks. Way older. And I'm not even married. See, no ring. Not yet, that is.
Hey,
we'll see. We'll see. All right, you were on the last.
I'm sweating.
I know. I am like, ooh, goodness gracious. You were on the last few weeks discussing some of the places that you visited. 2 weeks ago, you were discussing Bora Bora, which, of course, you went to for your honeymoon. And last week, you were discussing Scottsdale, Arizona, where you went for your bachelorette party. But we wanted to go almost back to the Bora Bora discussion because you said that you stopped in Napa Valley. Well, you had to stop in San Francisco. Of course, Napa is about 45 minutes east of San Francisco. And that is a place that I've been dreaming to go to because, of course, it's wine country. If you could, I guess, pick a stop before your honeymoon down in Bora Bora, why wouldn't it be Napa Valley, correct?
100%. And it was one of those that, again, I know I mentioned this last time, that we redid our itinerary in the last second, and I was like, we're gonna be sad leaving Bora Bora. How do we extend the fun just a little bit longer, especially knowing we had to fly home on Thursday.
Right.
So I was like, let's book Napa. And we had been to Sonoma pre-COVID for someone in Matt's family's wedding. And it was a lot of fun, but we were there for that. And so and a lot of people had told us that downtown Napa is just awesome. There's so many places that you can go to, right outside of Napa in terms of wineries. The food scene, the shopping, everything in downtown is just so nice. So I was like, let's just do it. 2 days. It'll be a Friday, Saturday. Not knowing that we were going to be having a lot of fun in Bora Bora. We thought this was going to be our fun to drink a lot of wine and go out and whatnot. But
they were so hungover from Bora Bora.
I was like, we got to keep drinking. But we obviously pulled ourselves together. And we landed. We had an overnight flight from Bora Bora on Thursday. Left at 10 o'clock. Slept the whole plane ride. Touchdown in San Francisco at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
This is a direct flight from Bora Bora.
Tahiti.
I'm sorry,
yeah. But we didn't have to do a sleepover. We waited in the Tahiti airport for an hour and a half.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was a quick
Yes,
gotcha.
yes. And so landed in San Francisco. Slept the whole plane ride, which was awesome. Woke up with 30 minutes left.
Oh, nothing like that.
Woke up. Rented a car at the San Francisco airport, went right to Napa, 45 minutes right outside of the city, and went to our hotel, freshened up, went to Don Perico in a Mexican restaurant right in downtown for some spicy margs, burritos, and a steak quesadilla. Wanted to go take a nap, quick hour nap, and by 1 o'clock, we were at our first winery.
Boom.
Boom.
Our first winery,
yeah.
She says. I guess we should start with the wineries.
We should start the winery. It's the start of the show.
Absolutely. Talk to me about your favorite wineries.
So we did Arteza first. Super, super cool. Very modern vibe. You walk up and it's just it's really high up, so you have a nice view of all of the vineyards. And it's like a big triangle, like a big triangle.
Like a Bermuda Triangle.
Like
of
a
wine.
pyramid. Like a pyramid triangle.
Pyramid. That's what she was thinking. Yes.
I haven't been in math class in a long time.
Apparently not.
I'm happy you got it when I said that.
I thought she was hanging ornaments on a Christmas tree that was supposedly in front of her.
Anyway, so it was a pyramid, and it was, again, you go out to the back patio, beautiful views, nice tasting of 5 wines, great, great, great. From there, we went to Visa Tui, which, again, had now a different vibe. It was a little bit more old school, Italian mansion vibes, really feels, and as you're driving from a vineyard to vineyard, you really feel like you're just in another country. Am I in Tuscany in the wine country, or am I in California? I don't know. So Visa Tui was really cool, really great wines there. We ended up finishing our tasting quite quickly, and Bought a bottle right there. Bought a thing of cheese and some crackers. Got some plastic knives. Sat out on one of their benches outside next to the vineyards, and just had ourselves a nice little in our plastic cups. It was just like that was like a nice touch. I don't know. It was like you had our nice experience in there with our fancy wine glasses, and then we're just on a picnic bench. Crushing wine and cheese and crackers.
But it's interesting you say that because you think about wine country, you think about wine and cheese, obviously. But obviously, I'm assuming the food is probably,
Yeah.
there it is.
Fantastic.
There's the more delucia than the piece that came out. What did you like so much about the food?
Well, so then for dinner, the first night, we went to Cole's Chop House. Very well-known steakhouse there. Really cool vibe. Food was fantastic. Matt started out with they're known for their lobster and shrimp soup, like a chowder, like a chowder.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
Bisque chowder consistency, but with lobster and shrimp in it, and it's almost like had like a pot pie crust on top. So you had to break through the crust to get to the soup. Just started with a blue cheese chop house salad, and then I got I always get a fillet. Matt got surf and turf.
Oh,
Matt
going
lived
big,
large.
huh?
Matt lived
But
large.
this is after all that seafood that you had in Bora Bora.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Very,
and then
very
we had caramel bread pudding for dessert.
Like-
I had to be rolled out. Yeah. It was really, really, really a great meal, and it was in walking distance. We stayed at the Andaz in downtown Napa, so everything's just right there. On the second night, we went to an Italian restaurant across the street from the Andaz called Onetri. Onetri was really, really cool. And like even before that, I mean, our hotel, just to go back to the hotel quickly, it had a nice rooftop bar, and it was so crowded. It was fun. It was a Saturday night. It was alive. Napa was thriving, and we went to Onetri, and the food there was awesome. I had pizza. I had a duck ragu with like a creamy vodka sauce, like just really, really phenomenal. We had pizza and tuna. Yeah, we were really on a big seafood
I was
kick,
going to
so.
say, this is
Yeah.
Did you have the tuna on top of the pizza?
No.
Yeah,
Two
'cause
separate.
that'd be a little
Yeah,
weird, right?
yeah.
But you mentioned something. You said downtown Napa. I mean, when you think about going to Napa, you think about going to wine countries, like you said, sitting on a field with a wine glass in your hands and some cheese. But it seemed like this downtown area was
really happening. It was
Right.
But you do have to go to the vineyards. So then on Saturday we went to two more. Shout out again to our Bora Bora friends that we met on our trip. They
What are their names? Quick.
They are Kat and Bill.
Kat and Bill,
our
You
Bora
got
Bora
mentioned
best
on the
friends.
post,
We've
that's it.
already hung out with them post honeymoon.
Oh, they're Jersey folks.
They
Gotcha.
live 20 minutes away.
No way.
They crazy. Insane.
And they were on their honeymoon as well down there?
No, they were just on vacation. They're big travelers. So yeah, shout out to Kat and Bill who hooked us up with a free reservation at O'Brien Estate Winery.
And you just met these folks.
We
Kat and Bill, you could be my friend anytime.
Yeah, no, we shout out majorly to the two of them. We loved it so much, we became members. We joined the wine club.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and they send you wine every month or something?
Every 6 bottles every few months. So we already got our first 6. Yeah, huge fans of it. This was the most perfect ambiance. I recommend anyone goes to Napa, goes to O'Brien.
Excellent. And was there another vineyard that you wanted to cover?
Yeah, so this one we did lunch on our way. So we had pasta and some chicken, lots of bread, more wine, and we go to Silver Oaks. Great experience as well, except one of the things that Matt planned was Silver Oaks Winery, and we forgot that he booked a tasting with the wine pairing. So we had this massive lunch, then went to another tasting. So, I mean,
how full were you?
We were unwell, but very well.
But very well.
Stuff with wine and food, cannot complain.
And by the way, when you're on vacation, you just eat a lot more. You don't know where you fit it, but you just do.
It's this vacation stash. That's just
what it
meant
is.
for that.
And we spoke about your wonderful trainer last week on the show.
John P. Fitness.
Yeah, I have a feeling you were visiting him probably a little bit more when you came back.
I need to get my butt back. I need to keep going. Gotta keep going. Yeah.
Well, anyway, on that note, I don't want to talk too much about Daria's butt. Daria, thank you so much for coming in. She will be on future episodes discussing other places that she visited, maybe even places that I visited, and we can share notes. Who knows? We shall see.
That could be a good one.
Absolutely. Thanks again. Really,
Thanks
really
for having
appreciate
me.
you. All right, folks, we will be right back. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B. and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
On the Pulse. I'm Taylor Shaw.
And I'm Leah Garcia.
And welcome to the H-Town Breakdown. So on today's segment, we are going to be discussing some very interesting topics, such as, some fun segments that Leah and I like to play on our own show on the H-Town Breakdown, and also just ways that we think that Hoboken's going to change when we come back to college in 4 years from now, as we are leaving in September. But, just diving into the first topic, if you guys don't know, Leah and I like to play many fun segments on our show, such as This or That Hoboken Edition, Rapid Fire Hoboken Edition, Guess That Tune Hoboken Edition. So, this week we will be playing This or That Hoboken Edition. We will spice it up a little bit, and we hope that you guys enjoy. Would you like to start us off, Leah?
Oh, yes, and I just want to say it's great to reminisce, especially since we're leaving to, reminisce on these this or that moments that we have shared and we've had living up, growing up, and being born in this town.
Yes.
So to first start off, I have a tricky one for Taylor, and given that Peter Biancamano is actually the leader, host, and, the big man of the Pulse.
Yes, Peter.
We have a very, very, very hard question to start off with for Taylor today. Fioris or Biancamanos?
Ooh, that is a tough one. I'm not just saying this to kiss up to our host, but I will have to go with Biancamanos. Biancamanos, Leah and I, we do like to go there after school, whether it's just like after coming out of the car, off the bus, or just even after soccer practice with our friends. And we normally go there on Mondays, which is weird because it's always closed on Mondays, but then we go back the next day. But, I always love a nice classic mutz sandwich on Italian bread, sometimes with salami. I know I'm basic, but the mutz is just so tasty that I can just you don't need anything on it besides just the mutz, and maybe sometime a nice slice of salami.
Yes.
Always hits the spot. But I think my answer is Biancamanos. Sorry, Fioris.
You just talking about that made my mouth literally salivate.
Do you want to go after?
So good. Yes, you can go after. But one of the things I love is you go there and he will literally give you like a pound of ham or something crazy, like a huge big amount of ham.
I remember one time we went there and I just ordered a salami sandwich with mutz, and I get the sandwich and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't eat this all. There's so much. But you know what? It was good. I did bring it home and I did eat it later that night. So Biancamanos all the way. We do have to rep not only Peter's family business, but just, classic Hoboken business. We always got to rep. But now the next question is, okay, this one.
Hit me with a hard one, Tay.
Yeah, this one is a hard one, as we did go to both events this past summer in our whole lives, basically. So which festival do you prefer? St. Anne's Feast or just the Hoboken Italian Festival?
So that's a hard one, but I honestly have to go with St. Anne's, obviously.
Yes, St.
There is
Anne's.
nothing like St. Anne's. It is definitely unmatched. It is incredible. We can just, talk about for hours the fact that we literally would dance with anyone in the streets.
No, literally just people that we don't know, but since we're all from Hoboken, we all are somehow just connected, and everyone would just form a circle and start dancing. The music, the games, just the vibe in general is really amazing. And I love the feast. It's always such a fun weekend, like a fun few days that we always have. And everyone goes out. It's not just us. All of our friends, the whole town, you just see everyone come out. And especially during this summer, this was really the first summer back out since the start of the pandemic. And it was really nice to see everyone out.
And those of you watching on cable access who don't know, St. Anne's Feast is basically like Coachella. Basically.
Yeah, basically
like
it's
Coachella or Gov Ball, and if they had a
Gov
baby. But it is awesome, so you definitely have to come down.
Yes,
and
make sure to check it out.
Experience it. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with a good one.
Ooh.
Given that we were youth representatives and we hosted events in the summertime, which event did you actually like better, kickball or soccer? I know this one is hard for you because you have your native roots in soccer as a soccer player. But kickball had an amazing turnout, and it was just really awesome.
Man, that one's really hard. I don't know if I can choose because each event was unique in its own way, as there were just different groups of people that really came out. Like the soccer event targeted more so Hudson County, I feel like, than Hoboken, given that soccer is a very predominant sport in Hudson County and especially in Hoboken. But for kickball, it was nice to see all of our old friends come out, and even just like younger kids who are growing up in the community really come out. And I felt like that it was more of a tight-knit vibe at kickball, whereas soccer, it was just a very competitive but friendly pickup tournament. But like even kickball was very competitive, but I would say maybe kickball, only because for us, just like being with our friends and the people that we really grew up with was a really nice experience. And even though, yes, it was extremely stressful, at times we did persevere and we did plan a really great event. And hopefully this summer we can do the same.
Definitely. That was a challenging one for
Which
you.
one would you choose?
I would choose, it's your turn to ask me a question.
She really dodged a bullet there. So this is not really a this or that, but this is more so just like a general based question. What's your favorite thing to do in Hoboken? Let's say like when you're just like bored, just sitting at home, what's the first thing that you would do or place you would go to?
Ooh, first place I'd go to have to be probably like the pier. 16 handles for
16
sure.
handles.
16 handles is the best, literally, froyo place I could think of.
No, it's so good. I love me some 16 handles.
Okay, I have one for you.
Ooh.
Given that I am an avid scooter rider, and I know you don't like scooters, which do you actually...
It's so scary.
Which do you actually prefer, though? Do you prefer city bikes or Lime scooters? Even though we don't have them anymore. I bought my own, so I was ahead of the game.
Okay, I would say Lime scooters. Only
Wow.
Because I feel like, I don't know, it's just more of an efficient way to get around. Yes, biking is very efficient, but you can go 20 miles an hour on the Lime scooter and be there in less than 5 minutes. And I feel like that it wasn't overly priced, but the downside is that with the amount of potholes in this town, it is very frightening. And also, I've been on the back of Leah's scooter. I was so scared. You can ask her. I was holding on to Jeff. I was like, slow down, slow down. But it was fun. But thank you for joining us on This or That Hoboken edition. Now let's move on to how, in what ways do we think Hoboken will change within the next 4 years when we come back to college, and you can start us off.
This is a great question. Well, we all know Hoboken will be implementing some new things. They tried to pass the high school, which I
Yes.
think that they will definitely try to pass that again, you know, within the next 4 years. And we'll have, I'm pretty sure, a pool they're trying to build, some new
Yeah.
developments, obviously.
Community centers, kind of like community things.
I think when we come back in 4 years, I mean, we're going to be back, obviously, to visit. Mom, Dad, don't get scared and worried. We will be back. But in 4 years, hypothetically, I think it'll be a completely new Hoboken.
I agree, because living in this town and just seeing the change on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't seem so real unless if we look back 10 years prior and are like, man, 10 years ago, this wasn't here, that wasn't here, this building wasn't here.
No, literally. I mean, you went to Hoboken Middle School. I went to
Yeah.
Ola. It's really close to each other. And we had 7 stars, you know, on the block. And 7 stars is gone. It's going to be some new high-end restaurants. So
Which is sad, because 7 Stars was the place to be. Okay, maybe a little bit overpriced, but very convenient. 4th Street, I know that we were hanging out at 4th Street all the time, given how close it was to our school. But I feel like that Hoboken, it might change in good and bad ways. I know that we're getting a Nike store, which
Whoa.
is great. That is amazing. But given that we are a small, kind of tight-knit community, I'm not saying that I'm against these big companies coming into town, but we are right across the river from New York City, so it's not like that we can't access a Nike store. But I hope that a lot of these big businesses kind of like stray away, but we still do get businesses that really profit in the town, but are more like mom and pop businesses,
Right.
community-based businesses, because we don't want to turn to this just high-rise community. You know, we have to remember our roots, the melting pot that we are and once were. You know, so I think that it's going to change in many good ways, but I hope that gentrification doesn't really take the biggest toll.
yes, I definitely agree. But I can't wait to honestly see it, whether good or bad, and hopefully for the better, like you said.
Yeah, hopefully we come back and, you know, like we don't see a town that we just don't recognize. But yeah, hopefully things will happen for the good. And thank you so much for listening on this week's episode. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Leah.
And this was our segment on the Pulse. We'll be right back.
Yes.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B. Peter Biancamano, back in the host chair. We want to thank our wonderful podcasters, H-Town Breakdown, for taking over the show last segment and absolutely killing it. We will be sure to have them back in the near future as they have a monthly segment here. But a person that has been missing for many, many months is the person to my right, and that is our sports insider, Mr. Jay Sinatra. Jay, are you lost? Did you find a studio okay?
There must be a shortage on talent.
Well, we missed you, buddy.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
It's nice to hear.
He
You're
says
buttering
that.
me up because you want me to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. He's looking good. He's losing weight. He's on the Peter
getting
Biancamano
personal now.
diet right there.
Yeah, well, yeah, something like that.
Something like that, he says. You know?
Not working and not eating.
Well, I hope because you're not. Well, different story for a different time. Anyway, Jay, college basketball has just been incredible this last month. It's March Madness. We're now into April, obviously. And why don't we talk about the hyper-local team, which broke all records, and that is the St. Peter's Peacocks up in Jersey City. What a run!
Exciting, yeah. It's been great. It's been great locally. It's been great from a national perspective. I mean, let's put things in perspective a little bit with this St. Peter's run. Team started out 3-6. Wow. They're playing home games in November in front of 400 people. I mean, there's more people in the Jersey City Target than going to St. Peter's games. Yet, Shaheen does a great job. He develops a team throughout the season. He gets them hot, and they finish the regular season. And the conference tournament, I think they went in with like 7 wins in a row before the big dance.
Whew. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
they caught fire at the right time.
First MAC championship ever for the team. I mean, I think their basketball budget was $1.6 million, if I'm not mistaken. Total, Shaheen was making
$200,000-$300,000 a year.
$1,000 a year. Unbelievable.
Utilizing their resources.
Yeah, seriously. I mean,
it's kind of an interesting thing how that works. When you don't throw all this money at people and they don't get lazy, they don't get complacent, they produce, they work, good things happen. Right. As opposed to certain other guys, they get huge paydays and they get complacent and the money's guaranteed. There's no consequence really for failure, and you see the results. Amen. Good, absolutely. And of course, congratulations to Mr. Shaheen Holloway for taking over my alma mater. You went to Seton Hall. I had no idea. Did you know that? Yeah, exactly. I never knew that. Taking over my alma mater's men's basketball head coaching vacancy from Kevin Willard. Let's start with Kevin Willard first. Jay, you were never a fan of Mr. Kevin Willard going in the past. But I have to tell you, when other people were sticking by him, you were seeing his flaws. He took a head coaching job for way more money down in Maryland. Will he succeed there, and will Seton Hall be a better team with Coach Holloway? I mean, listen, I think he ran his course here. 13 seasons, and everybody gets hung up on all these narratives about how his halftime adjustment, second half, and he does this. Listen, first of all, guy was under 500 in his career in the Big East. Wow. Okay, so for 13 seasons total, under 500 coach. His best winning seasons were, I believe, 2016 in that area. After all the powerhouses left, the Syracuses, the Connecticut's, the Notre Dames, the West Virginias. The conference got smaller. And that's when they won the Big East championship. In 2016. Yeah, correct. Yeah. I mean, let's talk about his postseason tournament record. 1-7. I mean, he had 4 seniors come back in 2018. That team had all kinds of expectations, as you remember. Yeah. They were a complete, I don't want to say a failure, but they went down hard. They won around, they beat NC State, lost to Kansas, I believe, in the second round. It was a close game. But, I mean, really underachieved as far as I'm concerned. And he did get snake bitten by COVID, though. He probably had his best team. I agree. During that 2020 season. To be fair, I mean, the PAL team, I mean, I think personally that team had a really good opportunity to run to the Elite Eight. But listen, I mean, their track record didn't really run parallel with any success in the postseason. So you say that, yeah, on paper, but you know how that tournament goes.
Correct.
So.
Correct. Now, Coach Holloway now taking over.
Yep.
He's coming back home, met his wife in the dormitories at Seton Hall University. They named their son after one of the dorms that they met in at Seton Hall, Xavier Hall.
Yeah.
I just know so much about that campus,
Yeah.
apparently. Is this going to be a good fit for Seton Hall?
I think it's going to take a while. But again, the run he had at the end of the season made him extremely marketable for this position. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody was talking about him in the middle of the season. Yeah. I mean, this put him on the map. Again, it's going to take a while. The blueprint's going to have to come together. He's going to be recruiting against the big boys. You got Jay down south, down in Philly.
Villanova head coach Jay Wright.
You got Pikel.
That's right. Rutgers head coach
St. John's across the river.
That's right. Anderson.
And now you got, you're dealing with the Hurleys at UConn. So the recruiting wars are going to be hot and heavy. So it's going to take a little bit while, but I'd be extremely optimistic. I don't like to shill, as you know, but I'd be pretty optimistic if I'm a Seton Hall guy right now. Just be a little bit patient.
Just be a little bit patient. And I think they signed him for 7 years, if I'm not mistaken.
I did not see the contract.
I think it was 7 years and a well-deserved, as Jay said, folks at home, you work, you can do well.
Yeah,
nobody ever starts at the top.
But let's hope he stays hungry. And that's the problem. When the contracts come in, that he seems like he's awfully passionate. And, his heart and his drive and his desire is all there. But let's hope it continues. Let's hope he gets those kind of kids to follow.
Yeah, well, I'm excited, and I think...
I know that.
Exactly.
I know that.
Jay and I have spoke about this a lot off camera. So, moving on now. We are taping this a little earlier than the Final Four on Saturday evening. By the time this airs, the Final Four will be over. But it wouldn't be a college basketball segment without discussing who the next national champion might be. Yeah. 4 outstanding teams left, Jay.
Yeah.
Of course, Villanova versus Kansas and Duke versus North Carolina. As I said, those games will be over by today. Who do you think has a shot to just win it all?
Well, I'm not doing predictions because we don't do that anymore. First and foremost, but if you want all the experts, go over to Twitter because everybody knows everything there,
yeah,
and
exactly.
They tell you they their wins, but when they pick games and they kind of like go underneath the rock and you don't hear so much from them, but. That's okay. We don't have to worry about that. As far as the Final Four goes, I watched the Sweet 16 pretty close. I try to be as objective as possible. I'm a big Villanova guy. I'm not a fan, but I love Jay. I love how he recruits. I love the system. I love the discipline, how they move the ball. They're an unbelievable foul shooting team. They don't turn it over. But, Justin Moore is going to be a massive loss for them. He's one of the best guards. Definitely one of the best guards in the conference, but on the ball defender, he rebounds, he's athletic, he'll give you 15 a game, and the poor thing goes down with the Achilles injury in the waning seconds of that Elite Eight game, and I just felt terrible. You know how much I like that kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been talking about him since early in his sophomore year.
Yeah,
I think he has a shot to go to the next level. So that's going to be a killer. And the thing is with Villanova is, they are 6 deep. They have 6 guys that can play. I don't want to say stars, but they have 6 B pluses. And after that, they're very thin on the bench. Most of their guys give you 7, 8, 9 minutes. So somebody's going to have to come off the pine and step up in that game. Kansas, I didn't see too much of them. I caught the second half against Miami. They blew their doors off. They had a monster run in the second half.
Jay's Miami Hurricanes.
Well, whatever. I was. Not so much anymore. I'm kind of casual. I was into the St. Peter's thing from like all of us were locally.
Yeah,
but
of course. Yeah.
I enjoy the Villanova, watching Villanova and how they operate. But, yeah, and as far as the other side, the whole Krzyzewski narrative, of course, how can you ignore that? They got stars. Apollo's a great player, guard. He'll probably be leaving for the NBA next year. North Carolina, I don't know too much. I know they struggled late in the season.
They got real hot.
They were actually borderline bubble for a while. I can remember seeing that they lost a game to Pittsburgh. That was a bad loss, and people were like, are they even going to get in? And the next thing you know, they've been getting tremendous backcourt play and shooting the 3, and they blew St. Peter's doors off. Just too many athletes for St. Peter's. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well, you're just going to have to tune in, enjoy the games, and, make your own predictions. But we're so happy to have you back, Jay. We
Thanks
hope
for having me.
In the near future. Don't be a stranger, COVID has separated a lot of people.
It's the first time I've put a mic on or held a mic in 2.5 years.
Can you notice,
much to the delight of everybody.
I don't know about that. I appreciate it again. Really do.
You bet.
And be safe out there.
Yep, good seeing you.
All right, absolutely. All right, folks, join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.